स्मृतापि तरुणातपं करुणया हरन्ती नृणाम् अभङ्गुर तनुत्वषां वलयिता शतैर्विद्युतां कलिन्दगिरिनन्दिनी तटसुरद्रुमालम्बिनी मदीयमतिचुम्बिनी भवतु कापि कादम्बिनी. Since we are resuming after about 3 years, I'll give a small introduction on where we are exactly. So just to give you a background, or let me share that text so that we know where we are. If you go back a little bit, yet निशेषच्युतचन्दनं यत्तु चित्रमीमांसायाम् अप्पयदीक्षितैः निशेषच्युतचन्दनम् इति पद्यं ध्वनि उदाहरणप्रसङ्गे व्याख्यातम्. Jagannatha Pandita has given his divisions of Uttama Kavyam, where he says, or the types of Kavyam, where he says Uttamottama Kavyam, then Uttama Kavyam, Madhyama Kavyam, Adhama Kavyam. So he gives 4 divisions. And he also has a logic in his mind when he gives these 4 divisions. He starts off with Uttamottama Kavyam. His examples are some 2 or 3 examples he gives, and then he moves on to the most popular example that everybody deals with, which is Nisheshachyuta Chandanam. This shloka has been dealt with by Kavya Prakashakara, Chitramimamsakara, which is Apaya Dikshita, and the one who has written Kavya Prakasha is Mammata. Both of them have accepted that this shloka is a Sringara Rasapurvakam, and it is also an Uttama Kavya example. They have not given the division of Uttamottama. They have given this under Uttama Kavya. Jagannatha Pandita also accepts this as an Uttamottama Kavyam. The problem he has with Appaya Dikshita is the method in which he has given the analysis of this shloka. So Chitramimamsayam Appaya Dikshitaihi Nisheshatya Chandana Padyam Dhvani Udaharanam. This is an example for Dhvani. It is a Dhvani Kavyam. There is no doubt about that. He doesn't dispute that aspect. But then as he is explaining why, where there is a Dhvani, which word gives rise to the Vyangyartha, when he is trying to explain those things, that is where he has a problem. Now, if you move on to the next section, we saw all this before, and then he comes to the part where he says, this is the part, Tad etat alankara shastra tattva anavabodha nibandhanam. This is a direct statement on Appaya Dikshita, where he says he does not understand Alankara Shastra at all, and that is why he has written it in this following manner. Why Jagannatha Pandita says like this is, he has 2 reasons. One is Prachena Sakala Grantha Viruddhatvat, and then Upapatti Viruddha. These are the 2 things that he raises. Those are the 2 issues that Jagannatha Pandita has with Appaya Dikshita's definitions. Now the first one is Prachena Sakala Grantha Viruddhatvat. What is this Prachena Grantha Viruddha? So now there he goes with the Panchama Ullase, Kavya Prakashe, Tathahi, Panchama Ullasa Sheshe. At the end of Panchama Ullasa, there is a section where Kavya Prakashakara, Mammata, he discusses how Dhvani cannot come under Anumana Prakriya. So this is a basic contention between a lot of Shastrakaras, because Dhvani is a very new theory. And many Nyayikas, or those who have this nyaya base, try to bring this under Lakshana or try to bring this under Anumana. Either you bring it under Lakshana or you can bring it under Anumanam. Why do we need another Prakriya, another Samjna called Dhvani or Vyanjana? It is unnecessary. So I don't need to accept this Vyanjana at all. Now this is a thing that a lot of Alankarikas have to refute, especially those who are all Dhvanimatha Sthapakas. Their idea is to establish that there needs to be a Dhvani, and we find it in our daily process, everyday life also. We see this so clearly in our life that how can you deny it? And their aim is to prove that this Dvani is different from Lakshana. This Dvani is different from Anumana. So we have to know what is Lakshana, what is Anumana. Lakshana is where your Vachyartha is completely Badhitam. That does not fit at all. Then we go into another meaning. What could this be? Right? When a mother tells her son, Visham Bhungshwa, go and eat poison, and no mother would tell that to a son. That is completely unheard of. Kvachit kuputro bhavishyati na tu kumata bhavishyati. There can never be a bad mother. So she cannot go and say, go eat poison. So that Vachyartha is Badhitam, and we go into another meaning saying, if you go and eat in this relative's house, it is equal to eating Visham. We come to that conclusion later. Now that is Lakshana. When we look at Anumanam, what is Anumanam? It is just a logic. It is based on Nyaya and that Nyaya is something that is very, very logical. You go step by step. You have 5 sentences. You have a statement, a hypothesis, you have a reasoning, then you have an example. You say this statement is very similar to this example, and hence the conclusion. So there are 5 steps here. You have a pratignya vakyam, hetu vakyam, then udaharanam, and then nigamanam, and then your conclusion. Okay, so these are the 5 statements. This, if anything, can follow this process. Then I don't need a separate Dhvani. That is what is being described in Panchama and he takes up Nisheshachyuta Chandanam because Vyakti Vivekakara and others have tried to prove that I can bring Dhvani under Anumana. I don't need a separate Vyapara called Vyanjana Vyapara. Right? So, tathahi panchama ullasa sheshe nishesha ityado gamakataya yani chandana chyavanadini upattani. Gamakam ityukte, that which gives me an indication as to when I say chandana chutam, it cannot indicate anything else because I have this background, hence this is what it is. There can be an anumana prakriya there. Tani karanantarataha api bhavanti, but our Dhvani depends on the fact that each thing can give rise to many other ideas. It can also come from many other ideas. Anumana depends on the fact that there is only one cause for one thing. When I say Parvato Vanniman, it can only, when I Parvato Vanniman, why do you say that? Dhumat. My cause here is I see smoke. If I see smoke, there can only be one answer to it. And that answer is Vannihi. That's all there is. The cause can be only thing. But if a girl comes with no chandanam on her breasts, there can be many different reasons for that. It can be snanam, it can be because she had applied and then her sari probably removed some of that chandanam, or the last thing is sambhoga. There can be so many reasons for this, and we can come to so many different conclusions. It depends on the perceiver, it depends on the speaker. These will not come into your purview of Anumanam. Anumanam rests on the simple fact that there is a one-to-one relationship between 2 things. That's all. When I say a statement, there can be only one reason for it, and the result is only one thing. That is not the case. So this is the idea with which you have to approach the next few paragraphs, because that logic is what Rasagangadhara depends on. He says, your logic will not work because mine has several branches of Karanam, several branches of Vyangyartha. And anything can be any possibility. Now, why does he refute Apaya Dikshita? His case for refuting Apaya Dikshita is, Apaya Dikshita says, see, because of this word, Nishesha Chuta Chandanam, she had not gone to Vyapi Snanam, but she has only gone to that person. Sambhogaha eva tatra dyotitaha sa vapim na gata snanam taya na krita iti snanam taya na kritam. He removes and he brings it into the realm of logic. He does not leave it to the imagination of the reader or the person who is understanding it. So the perspectives that we can get from one shloka is completely gone if you confine it to one meaning. Because Appaya Dikshita removed one meaning and put this word as depending only on one meaning, he has lost the very essence of Dhvani here. The very essence of Dhvani is you can have many karanams and you can have many meanings that can arise out of one word. This is the logic that you have to have in mind when we move further now. Okay. So, yatascha atraiva snana karyatvena upattani iti na upabhogaha eva pratibadhani iti anaikantikani iti kavya prakashakrita uktam. So, what Kavya Prakashakara says is, atraiva snana karyatvena upattani. Every words that are said in Nishesha Chuta Chandanam indicate that she has probably gone to take a bath. All of those Visheshanas are very indicative of taking a bath. Na upabhogaha eva pratibadhani. They are not given only for upabhoga. Whereas Appaya Dikshita, what has he been saying? He has been saying that no, if you take Chuta Chandanam, it does not mean that it is Vapi Snanam. She has only gone to Sambhoga. This is a Vyanjaka Padam. But it is in conflict with Kavya Prakashakara. So, Prachina Grantha Asammatam. So, the first part is Prachina Sakala Grantha Viruddhatvat. So, what is the Prachina Grantham he takes? It is Kavya Prakashakara. Kavya Prakashakara also says, Snana Karyatvena Upattani na upabhoga eva pratibadhani. Upabhoge eva. It is not only confined to Sambhoga, but it also talks about Vapi Gamanam, Snana Gamanam. Iti anaikantikani. You cannot confine it to only one thing. Ekantam nasti. Anaikantam. Abdina, there can be several meanings that can come out of it. This is Kavya Prakashakara. So he gives the example of Brahmadharmika Vishrabda, which Kavya Prakashakara has given. Now this is all Prachina Grantha quotation that is coming up here. So tatha tatraiva tena brahmadharmika vishrabdaha sashunakodhyamaritastena godanadi kacha nikunjavasena dripta simhena ityado. We've seen this also in the earlier. I'm just recapturing what we have done in the earlier class. Ityado lingaja lingi jnana rupena anumanena vyaktim gatarthayataha Vyakti Viveka Kritaha Matam Pratyakshanaha. So our Kavya Prakashakara tries to refute Vyakti Vivekakara by quoting, because Vyakti Vivekakara takes this Brahmadharmika Vishrabda and he says, I will give you an Anumana Prakriya here. It is very easy to understand. There is no need for Dhvani. But our Kavya Prakashakara refutes that and he says, no, your sadhya hetu and all will not work here because there is a vyabhicharitatvam. Vyabhichara dosha is there, asiddha dosha is there, and there is also sandikhyamana lingam. Your hetu is also, your hetu is very doubtful because of two things. One is vyabhicharitam and asiddham. Yeah. So vyabhicharitattvena, we saw this before also. Vyabhichara is where sadhya abhavaha vartate iti. Right? So what is the Anumana Prakaram? Godavari Tira Nikunjam Shva Bhiru Brahmana Ayogyam Simhavatvat. ఇది పాతం. I think we did this in the last section also. So he showed a problem with these hetus and he moved on to the next section. Ittamevacha dhvani krita api pratama udyote. Not only is Appaya Dikshita in contradiction to Kavya Prakashakara, he is also in contradiction with Dhvanikara, who is Anandavardhana or Abhinav Gupta. Okay, Ittam Dvanikrita api Prathamodyote. In Prathamodyota, he says, and the Bhakti, it cannot come under Bhakti, nor can it come under Anumanam. And in the third Udyota also, he talks in detail about how Dhvani cannot come under Anumana, or Anumana cannot include Dhvani within it. So, Dhvani has to be separate. So many, he gives different idu for it because of Vyabhicharitatvam and all that. So Dhvanikaraha api atra Vyabhichara siddhi dushitat api simha sadbhava roopat hetoho vyangyasya brahmana nishedhasya avagamanam svichakara. So Vyabhichara asiddha dosha or Vyabhichara siddhi doshat. Because there is a Vyabhichara dosha. Vyabhicharam mangarche, I told you, asadharanam. That is, this hetu, this proves only this sadhyam, whereas sadhya abhavopi vartate iti. If you can prove that this, what I need to prove, what I need not prove is also present in the same place. Yeah? You remember that. I don't need to repeat that. Yeah? Okay. So, simha sadbhava roopat hetoho, because the Vyangyasya Brahmana Nishedasya Avagamanam Svichakara. So Brahmana Nishedam api tatra he takes it. But that hetu can be a Vyabhicharitatva hetu. Abdina Dvanyalokakara also proves. That's all we need to know. What we need to know? Prachina mata viruddham vartate apayadikshitana matam. That is the first thing. The next is Upapatti Virodha. Now this evamcha Vyanjakanam Sadharanyam Pratipadayatam Pramanikanam Granthaihi Saha Asadharanyam Pratipadayataha Tavagranthasya Virodha Sputaha. So I think we stopped with this. Right? So evam, in this manner, Vyanjakanam, any word that gives rise to a Vyangyartha. Vyanjakanam Sadharanyam Pratipadayatam Pramanikanam Granthaihi. Those earlier texts which are Pramana Granthas like Dvanyaloka and Kavya Prakasha, they talk of Vyanjaka Shabda as being Sadharana, common to many different meanings. With them, you have an issue because what Kape Dikshita is saying is Asadharanyam Pratipadayati. What Asadharanyam does he say? He says, because of Chutachandanam, it doesn't mean Vapi Snanagamanam. It only means Upabhoga. If you confine it to only Upabhoga, then you are bringing it under Anumanam. And you are, first of all, you are in contradiction to Dhvanikara and you are in contradiction to Apedikshita, Mammata. Okay? Kavya Prakashakara. Now, next is Upapatti Virodham. Now we start with this section where he brings in logic now. Upapatti is Yukti. Yukti Auchityam is Upapatti. Yukti nale, it is logic. Some kind of a process has to be adopted. What is this process? Kincha Yadidam Nishesha Ityadi Avantara Vakyanam Vapi Snana Vyavritti Dvarena Vyangya Asadharanyam Sampadyate Tat Kimartham Iti Prachamaha. So this is Rasagangadhara asks this question. Kincha, further, Yadidam Nishesha Ityadi Avantara Vakyarthanam, for Nishesha, etc. You give a meaning for each of those Visheshanas. Take each of those Visheshanas as one particular Vakyam, let's say. Okay? Avantara Vakyarthanam. You have certain you are trying to give a meaning for those, each of those Visheshanas. Nishesha Chuta Chandanam. Completely the Chandanam has been gone. So what is the reason for that? Vapi Snana Vyavritti Dvarena Vyangya Asadharanyam Sampadyate. This is Ape Dikshita's method, right? So Ape Dikshita, what does he do? He takes this Nishesha Chuta Chandanam and says Vapi Snana Vyavritti. Vyavrittina, he is removing that Vapi Snanam completely from this Nishesha Chuta Chandanam. Chutamna, it is automatically gone. Natu Mrishtam iti. Someone has not taken an effort to clean it up. Because if you have gone to take a bath, then you will make an effort to look at all these places and clean it properly. Tatha na kritam etattu চ্युतम् iti uktatvat tatra tu च्युत padena na tatra sampurnataya savadhanena mrishtam iti na uktam. She has not taken an extra effort to clean it. Tatha nasti. It is only চ্युतम्. It is just by chance it has fallen off. So which means sambhogaha eva. Vapi snanam tu tatra vyavrittam. It has been completely removed from the picture. This is Apedikshita has said this. So what does he say? Vapi snana vyavritti dvarena. By saying that Vyapi snanam is completely removed from the picture, he has brought in an asadharanyam for the Vyangyartha. The Vyangyartha is only this. Iti apdi oru pidichu potu okati vechachu nadula. Iduthaan. Appo, then what happens? That kimartham iti prichamaha. Rasagangadhara says, now why do you have to go through this exercise of saying, vapi snanam tu gatam, atra tu sambhogaha eva siddhyati, iti kimartham tatra karoshi? That is his question here. Apedikshita says, no, see, vyangyasya vyanjanartham. See, vyangyartha has to come to the mind of the person. Nobody understands Vyangyartha just like that. I am born today, I don't understand. There are so many people who cannot understand the inner meaning there. Subtext puriyadava etane per irpa. What he is trying to say, everybody is a face value person. Everybody takes things as a face value thing, or most of us. People have to understand this Vyangyam. So I am giving the Vyangyartha. Iti prayaha apedikshitasya uttaram bhavedevam. It could be this. This is the answer for Vyangya apedikshita gives. So Vyangyasya vyanjanartham iti chet. If you are saying that this is to bring into light what is the Vyangyartha, iti na. Iti chet na. No, that is what you are doing is not proper here, because Vyanjaka gata asadharanyasya vyanjana anupayatvat. Vyanjaka gata asadharanyasya. The role of Vyanjaka itself is to give many meanings. If you have studied Dvanyaloka, the first Udyotam, adenna and the shlokam adharam mrishtam abdinu onnu irukku. Sure, it's been a long time since I did this Kavya Shastram and the shlokame marandu viduthu. Fifth shloka. Kasyavana bhavati rosho drishtva priyayaha savranam adharam sabhramara padmagrana shile varitavame sahasvaidani. Iti asti. Now, what is the meaning that comes out of if I say Kasyavana bhavati roshaha? Who will not get angry about this? But each one has a different Vyangyartha in that. Yeah, if you have studied Dvanyaloka, you will know this shloka where he says, a lady, she comes back with her punbatta udad, vranita adharaha tatra vartate. It is very clear, or she has gone to a kamuka and she has come back. Her pati is there, her husband is there. He is very angry upon seeing this scene. But then the Sakhi who is with her, she understands this because she is the duti between the lover and her. So she tries to set right the situation, and she says, who will not get angry? I have told you many times not to smell a flower which has a bee. That is why your lips are so wounded. No, what is the meaning that comes out of it? You cannot confine it to just one meaning because the recipients are so many people. She is telling the Kamuka, listen, I have saved you today. Don't try to be so forceful tomorrow. She's telling the Sakhi, I have saved you today. Try to live properly with your wife, with your husband. For the husband, you're such a ushered, you don't understand the situation here at all. She's after all poor girl, she's only smelling that lotus flower and she got hurt. You can't be angry for something that is not her fault. Sarvatra, for us readers, we find, wow, this Sakhi is so intelligent. Yeah. So many things come out. If you confine one word to this particular meaning, then how can so many meanings arise? It is not possible. So, Vyanjaka Gata Asadharanyasya, if you are trying to confine the meaning of a Vyanjaka Padam to one particular meaning, then Vyanjana Anupayat, it no longer serves as an Upaya for Vyanjana Vritti. Vyanjanayaha Anupayaha. It cannot give rise to different kinds of meanings. The purpose of Vyanjanam itself is gone there. Okay? Logic now, pure logic. Now, Tadeva Vyabhichara Sthalam Udaharat. So, what is, he gives another sthalam here. Aunidryam, Daurbalyam, Chinta, Alasatvam, Sanishvasitam, Mama Mandabhaginyaha Krite, Sakhi, Tvamapi Paribhavati. Now, I'll give the meaning of this shloka and we'll stop with this today. The connection with the context, we will go with the next class. So, I'll go over the Vyakhyanam here. Kamuka antike prahitam swayameva tam upabujya tad viyogena vyakuli bhavantim sakhim prati vedita sakala rahasyayaha kasyaschana nayikayaha uktihi iyam. What is the premise? Kamuka antikam gata. So this Sakhi who wants to tell to her lover that she is missing him and she wants him to come and see her. She has sent her Sakhi to go and convey this message to him. The Dhuti can go, but she herself is not going here. So the lover, Naika, the heroine here, Kasyaschana Nayikayaha Uktihi. This is the words of the Naika. She understands what has happened between the Sakhi and the Kamuka, her Nayaka. Okay, it is very similar to Nisheshat Chuta Chandanam. The situation is the same, but the shloka is very different. The Sakhi has gone to the Nayaka and she has come back. She is supposed to tell the Nayaka that the Nayika is suffering and she is missing you a lot. She is going through a lot of trouble, so you come and meet her. That is her job. But instead, she has gone there. She has fallen in love with that Nayaka. And now she is showing all the problems of this separation in love. Right? Love in separation. Problems are there for this Sakhi herself. So, Kamuka antike prahitam swayameva tam upabujya. Sakhi ya Dhuti rupena preshita asit sa tu swayameva tam nayakam upabhoktavati. She enjoyed that time with him and she has come back now. Tadviyogena, now she is separated from that lover and Vyakuli Bhavanti, she is completely confused here and she is also upset because she is missing him now. The Dhuti is missing him now. So Vyakuli Bhavantim Sakim Prati Vidita Sakala Rahasyaha. Now she understands the situation very clearly. The Naika, she sent the Dhuti, but the Dhuti has enjoyed and she has come back. Now she is suffering. The Naika understands this very clearly. She says, what does she say? Sure, you have spent so much of time for myself. You have spoiled your own health for my sake. Avringa. Sarcasm, that's all. I Sakhi, hey Sakhi, Mama Mandabhaginyaha Krite. I am totally unfortunate here. Unfortunate because I don't have the fortune that you have. You were able to meet him, you were able to enjoy him, but unfortunately, I don't have that good fortune that you have. So, Mandabhaginyaha Mama Krite, for the sake of me, you have suffered so much. Tvamapi paribhavati. What all things are troubling you? Tvamapi pidayati. What is troubling you? She gives certain things that troubles her. Aunidryam, sleeplessness troubles you. Aunidryam, unnidra. Unnidra ityukte, nidra is sleep. Unnidra is opening of your eyes. Nimilana. Without sleeplessness. This is a unnidrayaha bhavaha aunidryam. Unnidrata, unnidratvam, aunidryam. So aunidryam is the bhava vachanam, which means it is a quality. So aunidryam, the sleeplessness, tvamapi paribhavati, it is troubling you also because she is going through that. She is missing the Nayaka. So the Nayika is actually going through that, but then she finds that this Sakhi, Duti, is also going through all of these issues. So she is sarcastically saying, எனக்காக நீ இவ்வளவு பண்ணி நீனும் கஷ்டப்படுறியே அப்படிங்கிறா. அதான் she's saying sleeplessness is troubling you also. Aunidryam tvamapi paribhavati. Daurbalyam durbalata. Weakness is troubling you also. Chinta, kavalai, troublesome thinking, thought. Alasatvam. Alasatvam is it's a kind of fatigue, not laziness actually. It's more like ஒரு ஒரு எதுவுமே பண்ண வேண்டாங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு இருக்கிறது அந்த ஒரு தாட். லிஸ்ட்லெஸ்னஸ், listless, being very there is no energy, utsaha rahityam. Okay. Chinta is vishaya anudhyanam, daurbalyam durbalata, sanishvasitam, alasatvam alasyam ityuktam. More than that, you can take it as utsaha rahityam. There is no utsaha to do anything else. So that is also troubling you. Sanishvasitam, பெருமூச்சு விடுறது, constantly nishwasa sahitam, you are constantly deeply sighing because you are thinking about those thoughts which the time that you spent with him. Now these are all the things that can come for a person who is either separated from love because of viraha. It can also come because you are actually concerned about another person. If you are actually concerned about the Nayika, you can also spend your night sleepless thinking about how to solve this problem. You have become weak because you are also thinking about how to solve this problem. Chinta, you are constantly thinking about how to bring him here. Iti. Alasatvam. Idapathiya yoscha, you will naturally have no utsaham to do something else. Or you are thinking about the welfare of your friend and you don't feel like doing anything else. So you will also feel the same thing, probably not to so much of an extent, but to other. The Nayika, who understands the rahasyam behind the whole thing, she says, you are doing this for me. Matkrite evam karoshi. Iti. Okay. Now, this is actually ityadau sadharananam eva aunidryadinam vaktradi vaishishtya-vashat. Now all of these four adjectives that he said, aunidryam, durbalata, chinta, alasatvam and nishvasita, all of these adjectives don't have two meanings. They are the same state only. When I say chutachandanam, it can give rise to two different meanings. The causes can be different, right? But these four meanings, how does he bring about the other meaning for this? So one is you are concerned to Nayika, the other is your own viraham. Both are possible. But how are these two meanings brought about? These are not brought about because of aunidryam ityatra karanam sakhi நாயிகா சிந்தா நாஸ்தி கிந்து தத்ர விரஹாவஸ்தா ஏவ அப்படிங்கிறது யூ கேனாட் கன்ஃபைன் இட் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் தட் ஔன்னித்ரியம். யதா சுதம் இத்யுக்தம் நது மிருஷ்டம் இத்யுக்தம், அப்படி நம்மளால we are unable to give another word there and say if this word has been used then this is the meaning. Tatha atra nasti. All of these four are sadharanas in the sense that they can give rise to either actual concern that she has or virahavastha. Aunidryade. But then how do we understand the vyanjakam? How do we understand the vyangyartha through this vyanjakam? Vaktradi vaishishtya-vashat. You look at the face of the Nayika, you look at the face of the way she says and the tone with which she says, Sho, mama mandabhaginyaha krite. Abdinna, definitely there is a sarcasm there. Abdinga malya. You immediately understand, that is the Vaktra Vaishishthyam. It's not based on the words that are used by her. Right? So, Vaktra Vaishishtya Vashat Artha Vishesha Vyanjakatayaha Abhyupagatehe. We understand that Artha Vishesham Abhyupagati, meaning understand, Jnanam Bhavati. Vyanjakat, Vyanjaka Shabdat, Tatra Vaktuhu Vaishishtiyat, Ka Vakti iti, we understand that background, then we understand that this word actually means that she is sarcastically saying you have viraha avastha and it is not a concern towards me. The words as such are sadharana words. Okay, so we'll stop with this for now. இது வரைக்கும் ஏதாவது சந்தேகம் இருக்கா? இல்லை.